Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Laurel and Artistry. This is the final part to my 20th anniversary celebration for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I started off the Return of the King set of drawings with the true hero of the story, Peregrine Took. What, you thought I was talking about someone else? Well, anyways, here's Pippin, having been overwhelmed by his sense of curiosity, picking up the Palantir. I want to go into full-on Pippin defense mode, but I think it's best to save that for its own video later on. It was extremely hard to decide which scenes to draw, but especially difficult for this video. There were so many scenes I would have loved to draw if I had had unlimited time, but for now, I hope you enjoy the 42 drawings I made for this series. Really making the lighting on Pippin pop to contrast the dark setting of this drawing, with the light source being the Palantir. I'm going to draw a halo of light, which I suppose is a bit ironic considering Sauron's on the other side of the Palantir. Sometimes it takes a bit to get the coloring and lighting exactly how I want it. I guess that's one of the nice things about digital art, though. Our next drawing is of some stairs. Some very intense stairs. We've got Gollum climbing up, and Sam helping Frodo. There's Minas Morgul in the background, looking nice and green. Oops, I almost forgot to put a fell beast in the background. Gandalf approaching the throne of the Steward of Gondor, Denethor, sort of paralleling the drawing I did of Gandalf approaching Theoden last video, but this time he's got Pippin with him. Then we've got the king's vacant throne, a glittering white marble, with the light shining down on it, accentuating its emptiness. Aragorn, in the paths of the dead, calling on the, ghost people? The original coloring I had here had mint chocolate chip vibes, so it needed to be changed. We go from one dark and creepy cave to another. Here's Sam fighting a little spider. The Pyre of Denethor. Was thinking of having him hold his Palantir in one hand, but then I forgot. Oh well. Just gonna set everything on fire. Speaking of the parallels between Denethor and Theoden again, we saw one face the end with despair, and the other with hope. Oh, and also see if you can spot Mary. Speaking of Mary, I did want him in this picture. I just couldn't find a place to put him. For many of my drawings, I had our heroes back to us, but I really wanted to be able to see Eowyn's face. My favorite chapter in the book. I understand why there's not really time for much of it in the movie, but it's so beautiful and so sweet, and it really completes the arcs of Faramir and especially Eowyn. Because of my limited number of drawings, Aragorn's coronation is a moment that didn't make the cut. But I thought this drawing illustrated Aragorn as king quite well. Of course, what I just couldn't leave out is Sam carrying Frodo. What a moment. This film and the books are filled with so many amazing moments. I thought about drawing Frodo holding the ring out over the fires of Mount Doom, but I think this moment illustrates the theme of the story so much better. Frodo ultimately fails at resisting temptation, but he succeeds in his mission, all because he showed mercy. There was a divine hand at work, and when things seemed most bleak, the disaster took a sudden, joyous turn, a eucatastrophe. The task had been completed, just not as planned. At least, not as planned by men and elves and dwarves and hobbit folk. Speaking of hobbit folk, I debated whether to draw the coronation or Sam and Rosie's wedding, and the wedding won, because I wanted to do one last drawing in the Shire. And there we are, a bittersweet ending. I drew this one to mirror the drawing of Sam running after Frodo, but this time he has to let him go alone, at least for now. And now for a final look through. It can't be overstated how much The Lord of the Rings means to me, both the books and the films. The Return of the King was the only of the trilogy I was able to watch in theaters. I sat in awe. I didn't want it to end. Since then, I've watched the films countless times, and watched the extended editions making of appendices almost as many. I'm forever grateful to Peter Jackson and all the others who contributed to making these wonderful films. I can't even imagine how my life would have been without them. Thank you so much for joining me in this creative journey through The Lord of the Rings. I hope you'll stick around for more. And remember, if you need to destroy an evil ring, do not try and get the eagles to take you. Ciao!